I'm at odds with Exhibit 96 because Jennifer Freed is the PhD who, like, this is essentially the expert report from her, and she is the person who coined the term Darvo. Now, the biggest problem that I have with all of this, the entire case, beginning to end, is that the in my mind, I lived through Anita Hill. I lived through the beginning to the end of Anita Hill's plight against Clarence Thomas. And the moment that the Lively case became a thing, I have laughed at the idea that Blake Lively would believe that her claims would rise to the level of like filing the complaint, etc., and thinking that this is going to be the final, like the nail in the coffin for Justin Baldoni. Because in my mind, I was thinking, and I've said it in at least one post before, that imagine Anita Hill reading this and thinking SH, because none of this is anywhere close to the experiences that Anita Hill endured in the presence of not only Clarence Thomas, but multiple other people in professional positions, in positions of power, and specifically positions of power over her. And to think that because of the layers of white supremacy, because we've all called out the white woman tears from the beginning in this case, and it's laughable to think that Anita Hill was not able to successfully plead her case in terms of what happened with Clarence Thomas, and to think that Blake could potentially point the finger at men who she believes are POC, or at least responds to as if they're POC. Jamie Heath is for sure, but Justin Baldoni just has an ambiguous appearance, and for that reason, Blake has this subconscious response, this bias towards him. And what's so frustrating is Jennifer Freed in this report explains that she created this term based off of the behavior that Anita Hill experienced in the 90s in the case against Clarence Thomas. The way she developed the wording and the structure of Darvo was because she watched the dynamics unfold against Anita Hill when she came forward about her harassment, which in that case I've been sickened, and that one has always haunted me, still haunts me, and it's why I've been so upset about these claims that Blake is making, because she's using the words like predator. And at no point did Anita Hill use words like that against Clarence Thomas, at least to my memory, which, mind you, I was a teenager at the time. I could be misremembering, but I do remember how professional she was, how clear she was in stating her experiences, and how awful the things were that she talked about. And what was so terrible about that case is that I was a teenager at the time, and I had already experienced behaviors like that, not just from men, but from boys. And it was so normalized in the school setting. It didn't matter what setting I was in, men and boys, it was laughed at if they treated us like that. And I remember being so upset to think that she was going up there to talk about her experiences, and the way the news and media treated it as if it was a joke, as if it was funny, as if it was like the butt of the joke was that how embarrassing for her. I've been furious about that case ever since. So to see that Jennifer Freed, and again, who knows if she's another victim of Blake's embellishments or her false narrative. She's got citations from the depositions in there, but did she see all of what was included in discovery? Is she looking at what's coming out in discovery now? And that's where I have the biggest questions. Is she still continuing to follow the case and paying attention? And if she is, I would hope that she made a statement and clarified, I was misled. Because I'm going to show you another post, and it has to do with Vivian Baker. And with Vivian Baker's post, I'm kind of, or her evidence that was provided in discovery, I'm kind of like, how could you believe the words that Blake told you, and yet we have this verifiable evidence now? It's so frustrating, because I don't understand how Blake can be so patently false and wrong. And there's so many people that are believing her. And I think that that's my biggest devastation with this whole thing, is that as a woman of color, I am and have been consistently faced with SH, with SA, with trauma and abuse in the workplace, in education, in all of these different settings. And every single time I am gaslit about my experience. I am invalidated. What I say is minimized. What I say is I'm told that I misunderstood, that that's just the way they are, and they were being funny. No. Because more often than not, the reason why I speak up isn't simply because I experienced harm or because I experienced trauma or abuse in the workplace or in the school setting, etc. I'm speaking up because I want it to never happen to anybody else again. And when I get invalidated, it means that they are avoiding the possibility that this will happen to others. Whereas in this circumstance, we already know, we've heard from more than one person that Blake Lively herself has said that this isn't even as bad as some of the other things she's experienced in the industry, from other professionals, from other directors. So again, in this situation, to me, it does not read as a true situation of SH. It reads as a point to leverage in order to gain power and control over a project.